Hear about it. Talk about it now with Matt Patrick.
KTRH News Time is 8:17. We're glad you're here. State Senator Mario Gallegos and State Representative Sylvester Turner also joining me this morning. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Hey, gentlemen, let me play something for you here. This is pretty indicative of the kind of calls that I've received when I've asked if people think that we should be suing the Texas legislature to get some of our school funding back. Take a listen.
I think we have a bloated administrative staff that is firing teachers in order to keep themselves in a job which is not in the best interest of our children.
Now, certainly just one person's opinion, but a lot of the calls and emails that I've received, State Senator Gallegos, have been very similar to that. How would you respond?
Well, I mean, I think that when you're talking about public education and funding, that a lot of the parents and teachers are mad out there. I mean, our business in the legislature is to fund public education. We didn't do it. We have a savings account called the Rainy Day Fund, and I, for one, voted to use it. And I think that's the anger you're hearing out there, and I applaud the coalition district for suing the state, because public education is the number one item in my opinion.
State Representative Turner, people have emailed me saying we are educating the children of illegals. We are doing a lot of things that they feel are wasting money, building buildings where there are not enough people, football stadiums, scoreboards, things of that nature. There are all kinds of places to cut before we get into the rainy day fund. How would you respond to that?
Well, the reality is that we have cut very, very deeply. We have cut, if you take a look at the state's budget, we cut $5.3 billion out of public education this last legislative session. What that means is that on average, we have reduced the amount of funding that we would give to students by $300 to $500 per child.
But are we cutting the right things? I guess is what people want. I understand you're cutting things, but why aren't we cutting the stadiums and the scoreboards and the administrators?
Well, but we have cut back tremendously on administration. Just Texas Education Agency itself, we cut over $2 billion from the agency. Over $2 billion from the agency. We don't fund the state, the legislature. We don't fund stadiums. We provide money per child, not to the stadiums, not to all of those other items. We provide money for transportation, for buses, and we provide money for teachers and for instruction for the students. We don't fund stadiums. That's more of a localized issue.
All right.
And the reality is that the cuts that we are making are cutting into the quality of education of every public school.
Gentlemen, if you would hang on just 1 second. When we come back, I want to ask you how much this is going to cost each school district to move forward with this litigation. We'll get the answer to that in just a second. State Senator Mario Gallegos and State Rep Sylvester Turner joining us. Gentlemen, see some information you can take back to the State House when you go back. Women can't keep a secret. Keep that in mind, gentlemen.
Okay,
all right.
We will.
Listen, it is going to cost HISD about $65,000 to be part of this lawsuit. I would assume the other districts that are involved in this are also going to be ponying up that kind of money. Where are we getting $65,000 from, Senator Gallegos?
Well, I think the HISD has a rainy day fund too, and I'm sure that they're going to invest the $65,000 to get into public funding and the equity that they believe deserve, just like the other coalition districts. And I mean, it doesn't take a fourth grader with a big cheap tablet and a number 2 pencil to understand that we were going to come to this issue, and the school districts are going to sue. I mean, those of us that voted against the cuts, including my colleague, we knew that this was going to happen. We had options. We had the rainy day fund. We had other options like corporate loopholes, closing those in order to retain the $4 to $5 billion dollars that we cut from education. We had options, and it's just those in control. I mean, we didn't have the votes. We voted against the cuts. My colleague and I voted against the cuts, and that's why these coalition districts are going to sue. We've been sued 7 times in the last 30 years.
Right.
It's our job to fund public education. This is what those coalition schools are doing.
Representative Turner, no Republicans seem to be weighing in on this. I'm not hearing from any of the Republicans. Do you have any Republicans that are on your side?
Well, I hope that they are, and I would be disappointed if there are not some. The reality is that what the legislature did was wrong as it relates to our children. I have no problems with HISD or any other school district standing up and fighting and advocating for our children. Now, for HISD, they'll spend $65,000 on the lawsuit. The reality is that the legislature is cutting $200 million from their budget over the next 2 years. For Sci-Fair, the legislature is cutting over $57 million from their budget. That's from the children. And according to our Texas Constitution, our children deserve a quality education. I have no problem at all for any school district standing up and advocating for a quality education for every child in this state. That is our future, and it's worth fighting for, and it's worth spending a few dollars to get it.
All right, gentlemen, I thank you for your passion. I thank you for coming on with us today. We may disagree on things, but I appreciate you giving us the opportunity. State Senator Mario Gallegos, State Rep Sylvester Turner.